private sector will move in. When the government establishes the special economic zone, it is the private sector that is going to move in. So the government is the first mover shaker. The government set the basis, the private sector then move in to create industries, whether through light and manufacturing, what have you, and then that creates employment opportunity. So the private sector and the government has been working side by side. I must commend Mr. Ade. He's been attending all of our meetings. He's been making respectable contributions, and he will be sharing light on cross-border trade regarding import and export of goods into the country. So he's an asset to this process, and the Liberia Business Association will also be speaking. We might like to give an opportunity to Patel to speak because they are involved with the grassroots aspect of doing business in this country.
Patel,
so all of them will be part of it.
Yeah, Patel is having some problems, some challenges as well. There was this planned protest or strike action concerning the Liberia Business Association, Chamber of Commerce, relative to some issues they have with APM terminals. However, that protest was boycotted. But has this issue drawn your attention, raising some concerns from the issue of labor, the Chamber of Commerce, directly to the APM terminals?
Well, we cannot speak to that. And so it is assumed when LIBA speaks, when LCC speaks, when LRA speaks, when the NPA speaks, when APM terminals speak, including Beaver and Custom Program speak, they will share light on the implication, the cost benefit, the economic value to the economy that this new thinking will bring about. So I cannot speak to that because it is within their ambit to tell us what is the pros and cons of having this issue. So that is the reason we have invited them to the table, because this is not a one-size-fits-all what will come with the document and present to them. The derivative or the outcome of this meeting will be a direct function of what they tell us, because they are the ones who interact with the people on a day-to-day basis. So we'll give them an opportunity to give us their experience and tell us they have the experience. So they will be telling us what can happen and what should not happen, and then we'll put that into a policy framework and present it to the Minister of Finance for Development Plan number D12, who will onwards send it to the President for policy action and implementation.
Going forward, what will be some of the practical initial steps taken completely after the conclusion of this? Because writing the documents, doing X, Y, and Z informalities are good, but the impact tangibly to be felt, because this is a very important sector of the country.
Well, I recall that they said when you have the technical expertise and you have the ideas and you have the political will plus the technical expertise, is 50 to 60% of the solution. And this is what we've brought to the table. The president of the country has the political will. That is the reason why he constituted the Business Climate Working Group. We have the technical expertise, all of the parties involved, so they have an insight into what some of those things that need to be done. So that means we've made some modest progress. So this is just, let me just sound this caveat. When the next business World Bank doing business report comes out, you will see that most of the indicators, like enforcing contract, registering a business, paying taxes, our ranking will be high as compared to previous time. So just by holding these consultations, it is serving as an improvement, because while we are in the stage of presenting the final document for rollout, some of the issues are already being rolled out. Now, so the Liberia Business Registry under the World Bank doing business report said it takes 18 days. And they outline some of the challenges: no scanner, no internet, lack of electricity.
Are they being worked out now?
They are being worked out now. The LBRO tells Honorable Samson Dean tells us that it takes 5 days to get a business certificate. So we send what you call a SPA. Maybe that's not the right choice of word, but we send somebody to say, go and register your business
and see how it works out.
How it works out. And he went there and, you know, blah blah blah. After 3 days, didn't go come back. He went there 5, the 5th day, he didn't get it. The 6th day, he got a call, your certificate is ready. So that's a thumbs up. So we expect that when the next reports come out, it is not so much so that of the report, but that you create an environment in which people can say, look, I'm going to register my business and I'm not going to take a lot of time. So it encourages you as a domestic or international investor to get involved in the process. But on the line of trading across border,
I'd like to pause you. What did they do new to ensure that this process is fast tracked from 18 to 6 that they should have done before?
Right. Okay. So there was a lack of access to consistent electricity.
Okay.
Right now, the LBRA is talking about a solar panel to keep it 24/7. They have a server. Those who in the Ghana, Accra, and those who in the digital world. When the server goes out, to have it restarted or to reboot it takes a lot of time.
Sure.
They never had scanner, so they have all of these things available. And in terms of customer service, the customer service environment was not too friendly. So they have had consultations, in-house consultations, and they have improved these things. So now the environment is more friendly. You go there, maybe they need to start offering us coffee. You go there, you sit down, they call you, give you a number and call you, and you go and process your stuff. What they're trying to do is to move to an electronic system where I can just sit home, register my business, and then they call me, oh, you can come and pick up your certificate because I don't do due diligence. So with this, you see that they're making progress. The LRA is making progress in terms of paying taxes. They're trying to strengthen the tax policy base. They're trying to see how best they can generate more revenue. AEC has been making some modest progress, we must admit. Getting permit, the Ministry of Public Works has reduced it from 25 to 7. It is online. You don't even have to go to the public where you can start your processes from online. When you're reaching the conclusive stage where you have gotten the EPA and the water and sewer, then you go to public works. So they're not just sitting, they are moving. But the reason why trading across border is a serious issue is that when you look at the rankings within Kenya, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, which is the trailblazer right now in Africa, we are the least. Our score is 29. You understand? And so we want to we far below the Sub-Saharan Africa benchmark, which is I think 53. So this is the reason we need to apply more effort in showing for the OECD country, that is Organization of European Economic Communities Development. They rank it. It takes 1.1 day to do your clearing and importing and exporting of goods and services. It takes 1.1 day. For Liberia, it takes 29 to 32 days.
From your observation, what are they doing new differently that we can learn from and that you observe so far?
Well, when you go to the OECD countries, the in-person interaction is maximally reduced. You know, when I'm importing your goods, they send me the document, the bill of lading, everything. I go on the internet, track it, and then send the information to the port. The port tracks it. The port charges me how much I should pay. I pay using my debit card. They give me receipt. When my container comes, all I need to do is go and just show my document and take it out of the port. So it takes 1.1 day. But for us, there are lots of in-persons. Okay. And you know, in-persons contact, it gave rise to lack of transparency because people will be asking for red tape, stalling. You go to the counter to pay your tax. Somebody say, oh, I'm going for lunch. You go to pay. Somebody say, no electricity. You go to pay. They say it's NACO time. You go to Ministry of Commerce saying to LRA saying back to the APM saying to NPA. All this vicious cycle is a recipe for delay. And so we do not want that. We want the process to be like a one-stop window where you can get your stuff. Julius can say, my shape is coming, will be here by the 15th of March. Before the shape comes, you have gotten all your documents, whether it's EPD, is RPD, is invoice, is certificate, is bill of lading. You go to the port and say, what are you here for, Julius? Oh, I'm clearing my container. Where is the container number? 10810. Where is the document? Bam. They say that's your container over there. You want to take it out. And that will improve the score. Once you have continuous moving, there is export and import moving at a rapid pace. You know what happens to the economy, what happens to our GDP? It grows. It creates jobs opportunity for lots of people. And then you see goods and services are available on the market at competitive prices that become affordable for Liberians. But let's move a little bit to the traditional domestic environment. My old man said in plenty. She won't bring up plenty tomorrow. She chatted the Tessie. From Ganta to Banga to Magibi to all the places, police is stopping the Tessie. It's stopping this Tessie. Every checkpoint the man stops, the Tessie driver gotta get 200. It's alleged. I don't want to be held in contempt. You taking money from them, man. What the business person do is that the taxi driver now transfer the extra charge to the market woman who's using them, who's trying to get some extra money to pay her children's school fee. When you put that price on the woman puts the price on the consumers. That is a function of increase in price. So we're looking at the commodity basket in the country, right? Why are prices going up? Why is it that our gallon of oil is going to maybe $500 US? I mean Liberty, sorry. Why is it that pepper 50 cents for only 4 pour? So when you look at it critically, you want to look at transporting the commodity from the rural parts of the country is creating a serious burden for the taxi driver or the truck driver and the consumers, because there's always business people always transfer the burden to the end user. And given the state of the economy, these are issues that the Ministry of Finance is trying to address. How can we reduce this? And one way of addressing this is going through this trading across border, inter-trade, and seeing how best we can remove some of the glitches, some of the hindrances that impede the business environment. Why is Beaver doing pre-shipment? If Beaver is doing pre-shipment, why should there be direct shipment? How do you monetize or jeans strategy or Calvin Klein that is made in China so at a lower price, and the jeans strategy or Calvin Klein that is made in the US so at a higher price? How do you harmonize that? How do you do it in a way that doesn't offset the investor, that the business woman that came from China and the businessman that came from America? What is that price analysis structure based on developed and developing countries? So these are some of the things that we will be looking at as we go to Gompa in a few days. And we are also happy that the World Bank Group, the IFC, International Financial Corporation, has brought in an expert in country, or trade and port expert, who will be speaking to some of the processes that are involved in trading across border. What is the roadmap? She will give us a list of what are those things that are ongoing and a list of what are those things that can be removed, so as to create an enabling environment that both makes the business, the importer and the exporter on the one hand happy, and government agencies happy as well in terms of revenue generation. This is the strategic balance this government is trying to strike between the private sector as an engine of economic growth and sustainable development, and the government as a provider of an enabling and conducive business environment that expand business through a competitive process.
That's Emmanuel Monyen. He's a business consultant at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. You're listening to the Super Morning Show, also following us on national television, LMTV, discussing a planned cross-border meeting that will take place. I'd like to know, firstly, talking about the program, the date, and how long will that particular event last?
The program starts on Friday the 8th and ends on Saturday the 9th of March. Okay, so the first and second day, we end a little sooner on the second day, so that we go to the border between Liberia and Guinea.
Okay.
And there our colleagues from the international community, the World Bank, the United Nations, the UK Embassy, the Sweden Embassy, all these people, the American Embassy, all of them are being invited because they have interest in the national development processes of this country. They will then interact with those who do cross-border trade. They will ask them, why is it giving you a hard time? Are you following through? Why is it that customs is delaying? Oh, customs say I got electricity to go on the internet and transmit the information. What can be done to remove these constraints? We want to make business flexible. Business people should be the happiest people in this country. They shouldn't be doing business with frown on their faces. So we want to create that environment, that happiness index that gives them the opportunity to expand the business. Businesses are expanded, job creation. So that is the correlation between expansion of the private sector and job creation. There is an interlinkage. So that's some of the things we will be doing. The first day, introduction, presentations. The second day, presentation, breakout group. And then we go to the border point and then engage the actors involved in trading across borders.
Okay, this is the Super Morning Show, and we're discussing issues relating to the business sector of the country and see how best it can be improved for the betterment of the country and its people.
Well, Mr. Moine, we are out of time. Can't take calls today. We so much out of time. Sorry about that, but we running with our next set of guests are here. So we'd like to say thank you for coming. We take your parting comments.
Well, I think there are lots of calls. People really wanted to call because I've been receiving lots of text messages, and I don't know, but I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and we look forward to your presence. We want to say a big thank you to those who are sponsoring this this working group meeting, Trading Across Border, specifically to the Library Electricity Corporation, NASCOP, LPRC, National Port Authority, the APM Terminals, National Fisheries, and many others that I cannot name. I want to say a big thank you to them, and we look forward to their presence, and not just the presence, but an interactive forum that will find solutions to some of the challenges we face as a people in the country in terms of trading across border.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moine, for coming. He's the business consultant at the Ministry of Finance. Let's take a break and be right back.
Chicken necro for day.
This is ELBC 99.9 FM. Thanks a lot for joining us on the second discussional segment of our program. And next we have guests from the University of Liberia, and this is the Centennial Committee. And you want to know why? It's the launch of the Centennial celebration at the University of Liberia, and also being an alumni. It's worth talking about. This is our mother institution, and it's something that we have to give back to in a way. So thank you for joining us. I have with me joining in studio this morning Attorney Nurse Toy, who is the Vice President for Youth Relations. Good morning, sir. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And also have I'll call his official portfolio before I come to the centennial part of it. He's the Vice President for Academic Affairs at the University of Liberia, the Honorable William Ezra Allen. Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And Dr. Allen chairs the Centennial Committee. And so the both of you here this morning as we talk about this all-important event. And to begin with, I'd like a bit of, historicity, as to how we got where we are now.
All right. Once again, I want to say thank you very much for having me on this program this morning, for inviting us. Our centennial commencement is we are celebrating our commencements beginning from 1866, when Liberia College put out its first graduate. So from 1866 to 2019. That period, counting from 1866, constitute 154 years. So it's actually more than a centennial. Yeah.
All right.
So 1866, the first graduation, and 2019, 154 years inclusive. However, there were many years where the University of Liberia did not have graduations. For example, from 1874 to 1902, the University of Liberia was closed, so there were no graduations, about 29 years. Then during World War I, there were several years where the university was closed. So the 100 years we are looking at is the centennial in which there was graduation each year, and we're celebrating that.
Well, it sounds. It sounds wonderful. And what does this mean? Looking back from the first graduation the University of Liberia had up until now, what has changed? The level of transformation over the period.
Let me tell you what has changed. I mentioned that we had one graduate in 1866, Mr. James.
One graduate,
James Henry Evans. And we had one graduate until 1905. We had 11. But from 1866 to 1947, we had less than 10 graduates a year. Last year, we had 3,302 graduates. 2017, we had 3,448 graduates. So looking at going from one graduate or less than 10 graduates in a year to 3,000 graduates, that's one of the things that we are celebrating.
Wonderful. Let me bring Anthony Toy now. I'd like you to add on, because he's already addressed two questions which I'm sure you can also add on to.
It is an amazing phenomenon for us to be here in this studio this morning to talk about the history of the University of Liberia and how that history has evolved in terms of the contribution the university continues to make to the development of our country. Your guest in the studio who just left is an alumni of the University of Liberia. You are, and Dr. Allen and I. So the point to be made is that we have a lot to celebrate, and that's what we want to celebrate. We want to look back. We want to preserve some of the great events that have happened throughout the sojourn of the University of Liberia. So this coming Monday, we are launching the centennial commencement at the Capitol Hill campus. The program is designed to bring back on campus members of our alumni community who are alive and in country and making a contribution. The theme is memory, preservation, and the way forward. Daniel, it's important for us to memorialize the University of Liberia and then preserve the memory of the University of Liberia so that we can begin to think about where do we take the University of Liberia in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. Our president, Dr. Weeks, has been talking about the ambition of putting the University of Liberia amongst the top 20 university in West Africa.
Okay.
All right. So it's all within the context of looking back, preservation, and moving forward. We cannot move forward, and Dr. Allen will tell you that he's a historian, if we don't look back.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Any historian will tell you that if you don't look back, you don't move forward. But memory preservation and the way forward, and we're looking forward to. Let's talk about a bit about the contribution that these graduates have made to the overall development of our country, Liberia. And you can begin, Dr. Allen, and then the rest of them.
Yeah, well, you're talking about our contribution to the nation. You are a prime example of what the university has been able to do over the years. The leaders in this country, many of them got the education at the University of Liberia. I just mentioned that last year we poured out a little over 3,000 graduates. Those are contributing in various sectors in this country. So, just when you say what's the contribution, it seems so obvious that keep in mind now, from 1866, the university opened in 1862. Classes began in 1863. Liberia College, until it became University of Liberia in 1951, Liberia College was the only institution of higher learning in Liberia. So all the leaders, members of the government, got their education at the University of Liberia. Just look at that. It was not until after, during the second half of the 20th century, you had other universities, colleges arising. But it was the University of Liberia. It was Liberia College. So from independence 1847 after the second half of the 20th century, it was Liberia College. So just looking at that, all your leaders, ministers, secretaries, no matter what you call them, presidents, got their education. Either they started at Liberia College and then went overseas, but it was Liberia College. And the founding of Liberia College was visionary. This was a period where the notion was that Africa was the dark continent. So what good can come out of Africa? That was the colonial, the racist mentality. And building a university in Africa, an institution of higher learning in Africa, where it would cater not just to Africans or Liberians, but to even Africans descendants who were in the diaspora, who were denied admission in universities and colleges abroad. Some of them came to Liberia. One good example is Edward Wilmer Bladden. He had been denied admission in the United States. He came to Liberia. He became Secretary of State. He became President of Liberia College. So the contribution of the University of Liberia is monumental. And we just want to celebrate a small slice of that. And that slice is its 10-year commencement.
And once Liberia College transitioned and became University of Liberia in 1951, the enrollment dramatically and astronomically increased over time. But the University of Liberia has had tremendous challenges and setbacks, especially over the last 40 years. Our political crisis affected the university. We had some of the best and brightest of faculty members here at the University of Liberia, before the civil crisis or before the political instability. And a lot of those people were forced out of the country as a result of, the political instability and then the civil crisis, and that affected our standing and reputation. Some of the universities now that we like to talk about in terms of reputation, University of Ghana, University of Ibadan, these universities are great, but back then in the 60s and in the 70s and the 80s, it was the University of Liberia. A lot of Nigerians, Ghanaians, other West Africans, flocked to Liberia just to attend the University of Liberia. So we do have a, good number of members of our alumni, community in those countries, and who are interested in, the University of Liberia, and so we want to reach out to them as well. Africans, in the diaspora, Liberians in the diaspora, they have longed for an opportunity to get reconnected to the University of Liberia, and this is no better time, Daniel, than to use this centennial as an opportunity to reach out to our former students and our graduates.
Now, reaching out is one thing, but how does it impact, the overall performance as well as provision of, a conducive environment for learning for students at the University of Liberia? This centennial celebration, how does it impact students, current and former students who may want to give back to the university in terms of helping the university out in certain basic things?
Well, in terms of reciprocal or reciprocating, you got your education from University of Liberia, and the question is, how can I reciprocate? How can I give back? And I think what the centennial is trying to do, as Attorney Tuer mentioned, is that there's an outreach. We're trying to reach our graduates, our former students, those who attended the University of Liberia and graduated, but those who even did not graduate. And Attorney Tuer touched on something. I was at UL in the 1980s. And in the 1980s, we had Zimbabweans who were students. I had classmates who were Zimbabweans, South Africans, Nigerians, Sudanese. So what we're trying to do right now, as part of the centennial, we have a subcommittee that is committed to identify those alumni and let them know that the university is here. Remind them that we are still here. Look, we're not only celebrating the good, we're also looking at the essence of history, is to look back and see what could have been corrected. So we're looking at issues, for example, one of the struggles that the university had when it was not university, but Liberia College Encounter, was recruiting qualified instructors and also recruiting qualified students. The first exams that were given before classes began in 1863, it had math, it had Latin, it had Greek. Those are the subjects that students were tested in. Students did not do good. In the end, they selected about 7 students, the first students. Some of them were on scholarships. So we see that there was continuity in the issue of scholarships at the University of Liberia. I was so contentious at one point in time, until last year when President Weah declared free education at the University of Liberia or other public institutions of higher learning. So we're looking at how the university had transitioned, and in that transitioning period, we're trying to look at some of the things that we can correct, and we're trying to correct those things now. We're trying to look at how we can improve, and we are improving that. So we are memorializing, but also looking at areas where the university can strengthen. And one of the things we're trying to do now, as Attorney Tuer just touched on, is President Weeks' vision that that in the next 7 years, that the University of Liberia should be amongst the top 20 universities in West Africa. How do you reach there? Faculty profile. You need qualified faculty. You need more classrooms. You need up-to-date equipment, instructional equipment. So we are looking at all of these things, all of these challenges as part of the centennial, highlighting what we have accomplished and highlighting our vision for the next era.
Quite interesting, quite wonderful.
And a major part of the centennial, Daniel, is also to brand or rebrand the University of Liberia. It's quite unfortunate that there is so much negative images about the University of Liberia, and some of the negative images tend to get so sensationalized and over publicized that it dwarfs some of the good things that's happening in the University of Liberia. So we're putting together a branding strategy, and we will be unveiling on Monday, March 11th, our new brand, our new logo, okay, that will serve as the, you know, rallying cry, the convergence point, the common denominator. And so we're building upon that logo so that the public, students, faculty, and others can now begin to appreciate the University of Liberia. So that's what's going to happen on, that's one of the things that's going to happen on March 11. And as Dr. Allen will tell you, another thing that will be happening will be a reenactment of the first commencement that occurred at the University of Liberia, then Liberia College, in 1866. So it will be interesting to watch.
Come and watch and see.
Yeah, to experience history. You want to talk a little bit about that, Dr. Ali?
Yeah, and Henry, look, I invite you to come and join us on Capitol Hill. We're trying to, as he mentioned, we're trying to reenact that first graduation. Josiah Jenkins Roberts, our first president of the Republic, was also the first president of Liberia College, and he was the president when they put out the first graduate, a lone student. So our honors program is reenacting that historic event on Monday.
And that first student was part of 10 other students who sat the UR entrance at the time. And there were 3 subjects: mathematics, Greek, and Latin. All right, in 1850. Now we are having this conversation here in 2019, and students are currently registering for the UR entrance and placement exam. All right, whereas about 10 now, the first entrance, we have about 5,000 students approximately now who have registered for the first entrance. Wow. So just in terms of the history, you know, you can learn, you know, and Dr. Allen will you know, buttress this point. You can learn Liberian history as well from just learning the history of the University of Liberia. You know, so it's a celebration. But the other point I wanted to make quickly, I know we have only very limited time, is as because of the March 11 launching, we as administration have decided to carry out a comprehensive clean up camp event this Saturday, March 9, on Capitol Hill. Okay, to serve as a precursor to the March 11 event. What will happen eventually is that, you know, we will sustain this clean up, you know, exercise on all of our campuses. So this Saturday, March 9, starting from 8:30, we will be cleaning our Capitol Hill campus. We are working with our students, members of our faculty, staff, but importantly, members of the alumni community, our former students and graduates, to join us this Saturday, wherever you are, and we have a lot of them. In fact, Dr. Ali, some of them are already getting mobilized. Some of them in these ministries and agencies. You know, I understand the folks at LRA, you know, are beginning to put themselves together to support this clean up exercise. So we are excited about launching this centennial. It's a, you know, year-long, you know, series of activities that have been broken down into monthly events. So March 11 is the launch. March 15, you know, is Josiah Jenkins Roberts' birthday. We're going to do an event. We have an event set, you know, lined up for April, May, June. So the other point to be made is that we are soliciting ideas, suggestions, or proposals from members of the public, you know, who are interested in ensuring and seeing the University of Liberia actually get to that level.
Okay, so with limited time, I have to come back to Dr. Allen now to get his final words. Yeah,
let me just re-emphasize what Attorney Twer mentioned, and that this centennial is not a one-day event. It's not March 11. It's, as he correctly mentioned, we have monthly events, and it culminates with a graduation in December. So, for example, we have several topics. One of the topics includes student politics, the evolution of student politics at the University of Liberia.
Very interesting one.
Yes, and we'll have a month where somebody who has knowledge and experience in student politics will do a presentation on that. We're also thinking about a topic on scholarships, the role of scholarships in the University of Liberia. As we mentioned earlier, the fresh students, a number of them received scholarships because they were unable to pay their tuition. And we'll also have a presentation on the role of the government, the allocation of government resources to the University of Liberia. That topic will be handled by our Vice President for Finance and Fiscal Affairs, Mr. P. Gaspar Jackson. So, as Chairman of the Centennial Committee, this is my appeal to the public. We are asking the public to join us to celebrate a slice of Liberian history. The saying that the University of Liberia is a microcosm of the larger society is an example. When you know the University of Liberian history, you know a slice of Liberian history. And we are prepared to show that slice, to exhibit that slice throughout this year as we celebrate our centennial. A key point about the centennial we're looking at commencements, and we have something to celebrate. We went from 1 student in 1866, and we are in 2019. Last year we had over 3,000 students. That's a lot to celebrate.
Thank you very much, Tony Twain. Thanks to Dr. Allen for coming. It's been a pleasure having the both of you. I've learned a lot, though. You know, talking about your history. And hope to be part of the event on Monday.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, let's take a break now, and we will be right back. Stay tuned.
In iTunesLiberia.com.
I promise you, I swear from my heart, girl, I love you. Come take my hand, let's go far away. I swear I will not leave for no baleo. I will stay with you if I hear a baleo. If anybody try that girl there, you will feel my kind pepper. If anybody touch that you there, you will feel my kind pepper. I swear I'm in love with you. Give you my mind, your waist I love you. Give you my band, oh lele, let me be your baby. I when I tell myself, I when I put in my double in the net. I promise you, I swear from my heart, girl, I love you. Come take my hand, let's go far away. Can I play Husko, Lapa, Mela, Makata? Can I play Husko, Lapa, Mela, Makata? I won't cheat you, I will never leave you. I'm here to please you, mama, let me please you. Oh, yeah. I promise you.
In iTunesLiberia.com.
I swear from my heart, girl, I love you. Come take my hand, I'll take your hand too. Let's go far away. Come closer, lay your head on my shoulder. I'm your beauty beholder, your beholder, yeah. Come closer, lay your head on my shoulder. I'm your beauty beholder, your beholder, yeah. If I lie to you, let me what I can mean, what let me know what yeah. If I lie to you, I like it almost follow me, what let me know what yeah. For your bin, I go crazy for your bin. I spend my mind for your bin. I do a lot of things, I do a lot of things, I do a lot of things for your bin. I go crazy for your bin. I spend my mind for your bin. Yeah. I think I'll lie for you, I'll die for you. Yeah. I promise you. my hot girl, I love you. Come take my hand, let's go fly away. Silicon ENT, see you on this one,
KZW on the beat.
Exclusively at TunesLiberia.com. Begin at TunesLiberia.com.
ELPC 99.9 FM. If you just joined us, this is a reminder that you're following the Super Morning Show. It's time for us to join Marco. We are for sports, and you know, sometimes the conversation backstage conversation behind the scene you wouldn't hear the laughter. But good morning, Marco. We are
Little Danny, let me say a pleasant good morning to you. Let me also say a pleasant good morning to all of our television viewers. I don't want to start off with what transpired last night. I will leave it, Danny. Trust me, I will leave it with you, because I keep saying that whenever Real Madrid play a match, you can tell from the players if they want to play to win. You can see it written on their faces. Last night, it was a different story. They couldn't chase. They couldn't chase the ball whenever they lose the ball.
They were flat-footed.
And in a game as such, whenever you lose the ball, you got to chase. And I'm sure most of the fans of Real Madrid are not happy with what transpired. But having said that, folks, welcome to the passion. The second week of exciting football matches in the 2019 league season of the Liberia Football Association will continue this afternoon across the country. Here is a brief look at the pairings. At the Blues field this afternoon in Central Monrovia, Barracks Young Controllers, the defending champions of the competition, will go all out against Nema United. The anchors of the National Port Authority, that's the NPA, will challenge Jubilee FC in Kakata this afternoon to continue the chase. Small Town International of Loken Town versus Nema FC in Kakata in the second game. Watanga FC will go against Ketre FC in the Port City of Buchanan this afternoon. Former champions Leska FC will challenge sensational LPRC Oilers at the ATS this afternoon. Monrovia Club Breweries, for their part, will go against FC Facel at the ATS to close the activities for the day. The competition will continue this weekend across the country in the second division. Still on the local scene, Sunshine Yellow Boys Invincible 11 came from 2-0 down earlier on Tuesday to force Shimex FC to a 2-2 draw at the ATS in Central Monrovia to continue the LFA Second Division League. Shimex scored their 2 goals in the first half before the Yellow Boys rallied in the second half to force them to a 2-2 draw. Both RE and Shimex lost their opening league fixtures last week. In the late match at the ATS, Park FC recorded their first win of the season with a 3-1 victory over Bristol FC. In Kakata City, that is at the Nancy Bido Sports Stadium, Jar FC came from a goal down to whip their Bourgeois Island neighbors FC, that's Freeport FC, 3-2. A goal from Lawrence Kume, Daniel Moa and Oscar Manye in the second half saw Jar FC come from behind to collect all 3 points at the Nancy Bido Sports Stadium. Wole Nimle gave Freeport FC the lead in the 25th minute before Lawrence Kume leveled for Jar FC in the 67th minute. In Lower Margibi County, to be precise, at the Unification Town City, derby match between Mighty Blue Angels and Turin FC ended 1-0 in favor of the Blues, who have now moved on top of the second division table with 6 points. At the King George Stadium in Grand Cape Mount County, visiting Gardensville FC held second division champions B Mountain to a goalless draw. at the Sonny Coley Stadium in Neymar County, Bombay County. Winning goalkeeper Humphrey Grubai, who recently signed for Samara SC, showed class as he helped Elvis Salif's boys to wake up from their last week defeat to Montebaro to pick up a 2-1 victory over host Heaven 11. The first 3 goals were enough to give BYC controllers to a 3-0 victory over junior professionals at the Blues Field in Central Monrovia. Moscow FC and Neymar Quadro for their part played each other to a 1-1 draw at the North Star Football Field in Mambagle. The head of security, the head of Cigar Security, has accepted a mandate from the authorities of Lofa County to head its sports steering committee. According to reports, Mambo Cyrus will organize district leagues within the county, fundraising activities among other initiatives aimed at rallying support for the county to fully participate in upcoming national county meet activities. Speaking to EOBC from Lofa County recently, Mr. Cyrus said the task given him by the county leadership was huge. He said his committee will work with the authorities of the county to ensure a successful campaign. Away from Huna very briefly, Real Madrid failed to remain on her lane last night in the Champions League. They were hammered 4-1 by Leto Ajax to drag them out of the Champions League. It was a night of good football when Ajax went ahead in the first half. Madrid lost 5-3 on aggregate. Also yesterday, Spurs advanced to the quarterfinals of the competition when they defeated Borussia Dortmund with a score of 1-0. The competition will continue today. And Danny, that does it for the sports.
Thank you very much, Michael.
They failed to remain on their lane.
On their lane. Yeah. And they were dragged.
Yeah, they were dragged out.
Man, you know what goes around comes
no,
around.
Julius, no, we do not call you into this conversation. We do not call you into this conversation.
Is it a good sign?
Danny,
is it a good sign that Manchester can turn things around today?
They failed to remain on their lane, and so they were
Will Manchester United turn the tide today against PSG?
Well, I listened to pundits, and they did say that United has a great task ahead, having lost at Old Trafford to PSG and going to France for the return leg tonight. Well, I don't know whether they will salvage anything from the French capital, because PSG, I'm been told they have got all of their players back in contention, and so tonight promises to be a breathtaking encounter.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. Our next guest appearing on the show is the head of there is to send me message. We'll overcome PSG.
come on, Prof.
Well, our next guest is the head of the executive director of the Library Agency for Community Empowerment, Mr. Kowiak is our next guest. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back on this platform.
All of you, take it, eat it, drink it, and digest it. It's on your radio. It's the Super Morning Show with your superness. Feeling good having breakfast with you on the Super Morning Show, on air and online.
Begin at tuneslikebeer.com.
I promise you, I swear from my heart, girl, I love you. Come take my hand, let's go far away. I swear I will not leave for no baleo. I will stay with you if I hear a baleo. If anybody try that girl there, you will feel my kind pepe. If anybody touch that you there, you will feel my kind pepe. I swear I'm in love with you. Give you my mind, I went up with my dad in the net. I promise you, I swear from my heart, girl, I love you. Come take my hand, let's go far away. Can I play Husko, Lapa, Mela, Makata? Can I play Husko, Lapa, Mela, Makata? I won't cheat you, I will never leave you. I'm here to please you, mama, let me please you. Oh.
Alright, this is ELBC 99.9 FM, the voice of one people, one nation, united for peace and sustainable development. Thank you all for joining us, as it's another time to inform you of what's happening across the length and breadth of our country, Mama Liberia. As announced, our guest is in studio. He is the Executive Director at the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment. Good morning, Mr. Yeke. Thank you for coming. How are you doing?
I'm doing great this morning, Daniel. Thank you for again inviting me into your microphone, and then me say good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia, and especially to the employee at least.
Great, thank you. Okay, I'm Daniel here with my colleague Julius, and together we will continue now up until 10 o'clock this morning. Well, how has it been? The last time you were here, it was just about a month when you took over, at Lays, and we had that conversation. Since then, it's been almost a year on now. What can you say as to all of those plans you had when we last conversed, live on air, regarding, what you wanted to do at Lays, the sort of transformation at the institution, and in terms of the overall development as per your statutory mandate?
Yeah, actually at Lays, things are improving, and then we have made tremendous progress at Lays, and we got a lot of programs that have been going on, especially when it comes to the developmental agenda of our president, and that goes to do with the YOP project. We also have the LSP project, that is the legislative component. We do have the PSP, which is the President Special Project. I think we're going to dwell more into that. Because a lot of people are excited to see what is actually going on in the remotest part of our country, which is Grand Crew, and that project has gone into the full swing. And then we have a few other projects that are going to be going to kickstart like less than a week from now. So there have been a lot of progress made.
So let's start off with the YOP. We'll talk a bit about legislative project, just in summary, then we spend more time on the President Special Project that's commenced in Grand Crew County. Yeah,
as you all know, YOP is a project that is being sponsored by the World Bank, and
the Youth Opportunity Project.
That's the Youth Opportunity Project. And just last month, we were able to pay most of our beneficiaries in the tune of $500,000 Liberian dollars. We got 3,612 youth that are currently benefiting from that project, and we decided to expand the project this month, so we have additional 3,612 youth that are going to be added onto that project. So the number going to increase to probably 7,224, and then that component is what we call the productive public works, and the productive public work component is where the young people are involved into farming, where they do something like plant rice, plant cassava, plant corns, and then we pay them probably on the annual basis, and then they receive $150 United States per dose basis. And then we do have something around 129 farms in the 15 counties, and each of the 129 farms got like 20 person to the farm, and that program is actually doing well. And then
what are they growing?
They are growing like rice, cassava, corn. Yeah, and most of the funding is almost like a grant to them, and we don't receive proceed back from them. But the actual good news here about that program is that we just received additional $3.5 million from the Swedish government, so we're going to be expanding onto the component of that project.
So that is basically based on the success of how, or the successful nature in which how the project has been called.
Yes, but they have been doing very well on that project. Yeah, we are scoring a very high mark, and then the World Bank has just commended us as
one of the component of government that is actually scoring high mark when it comes to that project. So this is why we are trying to go into the second phase of that component.
So our beneficiaries, where are they coming from generally?
These beneficiaries are coming from the 15 political subdivision of the country, and then the YOP got, as I said, two components, which is the productive public work is in the 15 counties, and then we got something we call the household enterprise. That will be only for the urban area, like Monrovia. We are still trying to expand on that component.
Coming to the legislative projects, I'd like to take you back to whether you've done some prior assessment from your predecessors in terms of projects, legislative projects that were constructed. Did you do some maybe follow-ups on some of the past legislative projects? If so, how has it been like?
Yeah, Judah, that's the most challenging thing I face at least presently. Okay. And you know, when we got at least, we understood that the government of Liberia was indebted to some of our contractors since 2015 up to present, and then we do have some projects that are being stalled because there have been no funding for that. But we are in negotiation with the Ministry of Finance. They are trying to see how they can give us that money so that we can be able to carry on that project. I think it's around 3.2 to 3.6 million dollars. And when the funding come in, we'll see how we can get out there to complete this project.
So, yeah, go ahead, Jay.
So generally, the issue is about funding to do follow-ups on some of the legislative projects, which perhaps some of them may be in a bad state.
Yeah, there are a lot of them probably. I don't want to say the bad state is like normally, but government runs on budget, and then if you have contractors that need to carry on their work, and then you're going to give them some initial amount to start their project, and then if later on the government like Bureau don't have the funding to give, you know, the project on the store. But that was since 2015, and then we are trying to see how we can work on that to complete most of this project.
I'm concerned, you know, how these legislative projects come about, because sometimes it's been implemented through laws, but lawmakers sometimes seem to take absolute, you know, credit, you know, as you know, they build that town hall, they build that administrative building, they build that, you know. So sometimes the citizens don't get it clear whether it's really through. I mean, it could be their initiative in some way, but sometimes they tend to take all of the credit.
Yeah, most of the lawmakers try to take those credit, but actually the project is being funded by the government of Liberia, and then this is just the implementing partner, and then we sit along with the lawmaker. They decide what kind of project they want to do, and then we look into the budget. Probably if you have $100,000 to do your project, and if you give her the proposal, if that amount can reach what we have to do, we're going to do your project. If it's more, we advise you, say, oh, Honorable, this amount is too high, can we cut it down to this? Ain't no amount. But we are working along with them, you know, and then they carry us into their district, and then they know how to speak the different kind of language to their people. But we are working together.
So you don't have problem with that, whether who takes credit for it?
At the end of the day, I think that project will benefit the people. And
the people, that's the most important thing.
3 branches of government, so we are all one.
Tell us now about, let's talk about the President's special projects, and I know that we talked about the Grand Crew, you know, launch and all of that, but give us an idea, overview of why, you know, this is so important, especially at the level of the presidency.
Yeah, I think I was here some part of last year, Daniel, and then we spoke of lengthily on this project, and finally we have succeeded, and then we have all of the funding available for the project. As I speak to you, I got my team president in Grand Crew. We're going to be constructing 282 homes within the period of 4 months. And then what we are doing at least now is, you know, Grand Crew is the most remote part of Liberia. Getting there in terms of transport going to be quite difficult during the rainy season. So what we are doing now is to see that all the contractors have all of their material across to Grand Crew before the rain can get there. So by the time it begins to rain, and then we'll see how we can complete most of the project before the given period of time.
That 4 months, when did it start?
The project started last month, the middle part of last month, around the 15th of February. And then we also got some videos we're going to share with you later on, so that you can know actually what is happening in Grand Crew County.
Which specific area, and how did you come about with the selection of the specific area? Because well, our correspondent reported there have been 1 or 2 issues about the area selected for the project.
This project is actually the dream of the president. And the president idea was along the main way we have some Taj horses. We have some horses that are very much deplorable for our people in those part of Liberia. And then what he decided to do is that we change the face of those villages and in the town. So most of the selection is done by looking at the physical structure of your home. And then what we intend to do is, like, if we get there and your home looked at deplorable, we find a vacant area right near your house, and then we build you a new home, and then we're going to sign a agreement with you that once those homes are being built, all we need to do is to see how we can break the old one. So we have been working along with the people in the interior. You know, it's going to take time. Yeah,
but I'd like to ask, so what happens to them? I mean, you don't break their homes, you rather build beside their homes.
Yeah,
because you're going to take into consideration the alleys and this and that, and the sidewalk, the road itself.
For now, it's going to be quite difficult to tell them to leave their home, and then we build and to break it down before building a new home. Like, you know, they don't have nowhere to go. So we decided to re-strategize. Initially, what we were doing was finding a new land, building a new kind of village, and relocating them to that village. Okay. But remember, because of financial constraint, because there are certain villages that have more than 150 homes, and then probably we're giving them only 40. So you cannot build a new village with just 40 homes and feel like everybody going to relocate. So what we decided to do is get them on this home, those that are deplorable, build a new one closer to them, and break the old one. And then most of the old spots that the home's going to be on, they're going to actually be used for agricultural purposes.
How much funding are we talking about?
For this project is around 3.7 million United States dollars.
So since you started this initiative, what are the locals, the expected beneficiaries? What are they saying so far? Any feedback?
The people are very much excited in Grand Crew County. They are waiting to receive the delegation of the president when he gets there doing the county tour. And there have been a lot of good news coming out of Grand Crew County, especially what the president decided to do for the people in Grand Crew County.
There's a huge connection, a huge link, the fact that a son of Grand Crew County, who is now the president, is making some strides in Grand Crew County. But let's talk about these projects. 282, are they going to be built all within a particular town or village, or are they going to be spread across? Because that is key.
I know, Daniel, you're going to come to that question here. So people normally ask, why are we building 282 homes in Grand Crew? So let me let the cat off the bag. The president also decided that we have a new mandate list.
Okay.
We are going to build additional 1,500 homes. That is in the pipeline.
Where?
This 1,500 homes going to be built in the 15 counties. Each county going to have 100 homes.
Okay.
Giving us the figure of 1,500. Okay. The president already earmarked $10 million towards that project. This president is working on the technical duty of that project. We have a company from Italy that is already here that we are in discussion with. We already signed our MOU with them, and then they're going to be going along with us to the county tour to see what they can do up there. We also got another group of company from Dubai. I'm going to be meeting them later on this evening. They also have interest in building those 1,500 homes. So when I hear people talking about just 282 in Grand Crew, we got 1,500 homes coming. Yeah, so let the Liberian people know that there's 1,500 homes coming. We got $10 million already for that project.
How soon do we expect? This is a big news. People will be interested to know the commencement, the kickoff of this particular project.
Yeah, Julia, this is what I say in the Liberian tone, that we are doing this feasibility studies on that, because the 282 homes is something that is actually going on now. Yeah. The 1,500 homes is something that we're going to do within this year. It probably may not be completed in this year. Okay. And then what we intend to do is to see how we can build portion of those homes before the July 26th celebration. But we are still working on technical duties, because some of the companies are trying to do this. We need to do some due diligence. We need to go and see most of the homes they are built all the area around the world. We need to go and test them. So our technical team are working along with them to make sure that these homes are actual homes you can use in Liberia, because the climate condition in Liberia is quite different from those in the West. So,
are you also looking forward to having the president talk about Liberians not being spectators in the economy? Liberian businesses, Liberian firms or businesses who can also, carry out the construction companies who can carry out some of these.
Yeah, the project actually in Grand Crew are being done by 2 Liberian contractors, and one is Mobile and one is I think business. I just forgot the name. I'll give you the name later. Yeah, those are the 2 Liberian companies that are carrying the work on
the 282.
The 282 homes are being done by Liberian company. So these 1,500 homes, Liberian will also be involved in the process.
Let's look at talking about the 282 homes. Let's look at some of the facilities. What do we expect to see in those homes?
Those homes are actually modern homes, and then they are 2 bedrooms. They do have a bathroom. They got a space for living room. They got a kitchen. They got a storage facility on this home. We got a prototype right on the Kakata Highway. Before reaching Fenner, if you look on the right hand side, you'll see the home right on the Lay Hill there. So they are actually a modern home that Mansell can live in Monrovia.
Quite interesting, and this is great news for people not just in Grand Crew County, but also people across the country, to know that homes are coming to them. Are these homes, I know you still talk about the technical details of the 1,000 homes, but basically, will they be situated basically in the capital, of these counties?
No.
Or they'll be taken to,
What we intend to do here, Daniel, is like along the highway there are a lot of makeshift. So
it's mainly the front view, if I can put it that way.
Yeah. We're going to target the front views and see how we can change get a facelift to the roads that are going to be going to the southeast. The road that are going to be leaving from Banga to Manikoma, and those are areas we're going to target.
Sure, and this is great news for for the people of Liberia, especially we're talking about the president's special project. Now, what is the commitment that you've gotten from the president? I know he's been put a lot of effort in this, but his passion, and that comes to the quote-unquote humanitarian side of the president. His passion to make sure and see people lifted from those slum communities or homes to better homes.
The president is actually excited upon his trip from Israel, and we had a one-on-one meeting concerning this project. He's very happy that we have kick-started the project, especially when it comes to the component of agriculture. The president just spoke about agriculture going to be his second phase, things that he's going to move forward, and then the agricultural component attached to this project is that where we're going to have the old homes, they're going to be demolished, and then we're going to urge beneficiaries to see how they can make use of the old spot to plant pepper, okra, and other cash crops. So those are going to be the agricultural component added to that. So he's very much excited about that. He can't wait to go by Grand Crew and see what is happening out there.
That's quite wonderful. Now, as we move forward, you mentioned other projects, which you didn't co-name, like the Youth Opportunity Project. We talked about legislative project. We've talked about the president's special projects. Other projects that you mentioned. What are those?
Another great news we have here, Dana, is like there's a road leaving from EAWA Junction to the Coca-Cola factory, right? Yeah, there's an expansion of road out there, and really going to be a congested area. And then we talked to the Japanese counterpart. The president had a lengthy discussion with them that happened some part of last year, and finally that project, I don't want to see that project being approved. Let's got the funding now for that project, and that is $3.8 million. So the Gorbachev market going to commence by next week, and then we're trying to work on the president's schedule to see how he can go and do the groundbreaking ceremony. So that is now the construction of the new Gorbachev market. They do have the funding for that project, so you're going to start by next week. That is $3.8 million project.
Wow, that's another great news. So talking about the Gorbachev market project, what do we hope to see from talking about the project, some of the facilities at the Gorbachev area?
The new Gorbachev market going to be built around the Omega Village area, and the market going to be situated on 5 acres of land, and then 2 acres going to be used actually for the structure of the market. And then this market is like 6,350 square meter market. Going to be the modern kind of steel structure market. We're going to have storage facility. We're going to also have parking lots for more than 100 vehicles. The market going to come a long way modern latrine, it's gonna come a long way. Let's say water tank or reservoir.
I mean, I can't thank you enough for providing lots of specific personal details, you know, to the project. It gives, you know, the public a more better insight of what the project will look like and everything. I know some of you out there are, you know, want your questions to go through now. 0776-089-713, 0776-089-713, or 0880-514-096, 0880-514-096. You can call and participate and be on the program right here on this platform on 99.9 FM. So let's quickly take the first caller. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is your name?
Brahma Kamara. I come from Banga City, Bon County.
You call from Banga, Bon County. Go ahead.
Let me say thank you to the list and enjoy there. Thank you for the good news to our president for his efforts to see our country going forward. But is there any place for the market in Banga, the general market in Banga, that come up with the Elizabeth Friday? I want to know.
Okay, thank you. He's writing that down. He'll respond to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Daniel.
What is your name?
Morning, Daniel. This is Ewan for ERW Bell.
Go ahead, please.
Daniel, this morning, listen to ERBC is like those who are in school who come from school, the food will be happy, and open your voice, see sweat to be happy. That's a great news for our country. What's going on now? So we just to pray for this person. He got love for the country. He's trying to develop the country. So this was it. Thank you very much. Continue the good work.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Let's take the next call. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is your name?
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. This is Isaac Guy, and I'm calling from Maryland County, Plebo City to BT side.
From Plebo City, go ahead.
I want to say a very big thank you to the brother in the studio for providing this clarity. But how can we address the issue of locating, let's say, constructing a presidential project in a particular location that will not benefit the entire people of the county? How can we speak to that? And seeing that giving a county, giving those remotest part of the country a safe place, and how can we determine that this is a safe place for a county if we are not constructing those projects that are having to give safe place to the capitals of the county, giving them in a particular location that will have to do maybe with the interest of the country? How can we better speak to that, please? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your concern there. Let me take the next call here. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Coach Christopher. Let it second and probably let you my country to be per se 43. Well, I'm going to push you the student guest in this bus. I just have to ask this question.
Yeah.
Is there any assurance from the list that there will be invitation of the religious prayer for this year?
There will be what? Hello?
District 2 inform us that his project will be going to the country of February where he plans to construct a Mary laboratory. For other person, we're not seeing any sign of that happening. So I would like the boss to please let me more on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very interesting. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, that person not ready yet. Let's take the next one. Good morning.
Yeah, Dana, how you doing?
I'm fine. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for your series. Firstly, I'm the series on my call from Sergio.
Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to the list for that project given by the president. My only prayer is that we don't want the youth yesterday to be the list today. Because most of the work there, as we continue to work there, they are substandard. We don't want for this president initiative that he's taking in for people to come and say things only because list is not doing a good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Short and straight to the point. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. What is your name?
Yeah, Daniel. My name is Adavon Stanley. I'm calling from Ashmore Street.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Daniel, I would like to tell the president, thank you for the housing unit that is building for the poor people. Hey, President, we are thank you. Yes. And the people that are implementing the list, we pray that you build a standard housing unit, not substandard. Please, we beg you. We will do the best you can for the people. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, that person dropped off the line. Let's see if we can take the next caller here very quickly before we come to Mr. Yeke to respond to some of the callers' concerns. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Joseph Simpson. I'm calling from Havasu Highway.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to thank the guy who is there, the president as well, but I have a concern. What if you had property and probably you might want to, give some out for a special project? How can we reach this guy in studio if that in case? If that in case going to work? I got a property, I want to, give some out for fresh project. How do I reach the guy in studio? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honorable Musa Konen, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Good morning to Julius. And a very warm morning to my friend and brother who are now growing a revolution, Comrade Achilo Percy Yeke. Well, I just wanted to help some of the questions I was asked. Like somebody talked about how durable will the building be. Looking at Percy Yeke's record, all Pepsi will want for this president is to succeed. So I can put my neck on the line with Pepsi Yeke as the head of the project, doing it for this president. I can tell you 100% it's going to be durable, a decent living place for our Liberian people. And I just want to say hats up to this president that we continue to tell people that he is the best thing to ever happen in the history of our country. Thank you so ever so much, Mr. President. I know you can do even bigger and better than what you are doing right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Morning. What is your name?
This is Divakola calling for DG5 Bon County. Go
ahead, please.
Thank you so much. I have a question for the studio guest. My question has to do with this. What are the measurements you people are putting in the place so we can in the law they find for development and government are carrying on, especially road construction. After facing the road, so like those cars that get break down on the road where they just go out. So 20 feet on the quota, and we all know that few get damaged quota, they just park the car on the road to carry their maintenance work right on the new road. What are those measurements you people putting in the place that those development can be safeguarded?
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, that's the overall idea. Let's take two more. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Daniel. And good morning to your studio guys. My name is Ojuku Ogboswa Musa Ojuku. And let me be the second person who will lay my hair on the chopping board for your studio guys. I have explicit confidence in him 100%. With the level of conviction, commitment, and transparency the government believes in, we believe that this project will take place and the tangibles will be shown. And all we can say to our Liberian people, all we need to do here to pray for this president to have long life, all we need to do to work together as people, because the president want to see the level of modernity and globalization. Liberia to be a new grand country where our people that have been marginalized over the decades of time, they can regain their motherland, that they can regain the new Liberia that they've been wishing for. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's take one more call and then we'll come back to our guests in studio. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. What is your name?
I'm George Tati calling from Harper City, Maryland County.
Go ahead, please.
I have two concerns.
Go ahead.
Yes. My first concern has to do with our fire service in Harper here. These people, when
fire service, hello,
none of them will ever go to the
go ahead.
Now, I end up a visit in Harper where my whole shop got burned that I lose over $15,000 United States dollars concerning goods and money.
But then these fire service are going around collecting $35 United States from people every day, collecting this money. And as I'm speaking to you now, I am a man who always help people within the community. And one of the concerns that I have here with students, this student came home yesterday. From Monday, they sent some students home for school fees. As I'm speaking to you, one of the right here, tell me now, I can even go on.
I mean, no, let's not do that now. I mean, the fire issue, at least we can call fire service on that one. But I mean, when you're saying for school fee, they're saying for school fee. Even if you cry, you didn't pay your school fee, you didn't pay your school fees. I mean, I can empathize with you, but sir, this, we're not discussing that right now. So let me quickly say that immediately after this conversation, we'll speak with the gender minister on the line for a few minutes, and she will tell us a bit about the program today. I think that's in is it in Margibi, Julius?
Yeah, Margibi,
in Margibi County, yeah, the International Women's Day program, and those events that will lead up to the event. So you listen to the some recommendations, somewhere, questions, and relevant to what we're talking about, you can answer them.
Yeah, I listened to the caller from Bangabong County talking about the market project, and then what I'm gonna do from here is like we got some lawmaker from Bangabong County, and I'm gonna encourage them. They got a lot of legislative project with us. I think they got like 7 representatives and 2 senators. I will see how they can redirect some of their funding for that market project, but they're gonna be on appeal to them because they decide what they want to do in their various county. And there's a call from Maryland County in particular about the location of the project. These projects are village housing projects. These projects are not intended for Broad Street, not intended for Banga City, Harper City. You're going to see them along the way before you get to Harper, but they will not be in Harper, they will not be in Zerju City. They're going to be along the highway before you get into Zerju. So we are dealing with people that live in those village homes, not people that live in the urban area. And then there's a brother call from Margibi County concerning the library. Yeah, we got a proposal. The lawmaker from district number 2 in Margibi, he gave us the proposal, but we still have the funding problem from the Ministry of Finance. One, though funding are available, the necessary procurement we're going to be done to see how we can get those library built. And as my friend and brother Musa said, look, LACE is actually the implementing partner. We are not the contractors. I don't have team out there that trying to buy cement and buy sand that I can think that someone going to get millions of dollars from. All we're going to do is give the contract to the contractor, hold them by those BOQ we give them, make sure that they do those projects on time. So as a secretary director of LACE, I'm not like involved into actually putting zinc on the horses, but I'm actually the eye of the president to make sure that things go on right, to see how the government can succeed. And then we got another question here from the same Margibi. One of my brother Francis asked how you can get my contact information. You can just get over to LACE. I don't want to make my number public on air here, but I'm probably going to give my number to Daniel. If you can call EOBC, Daniel going to give you the contact number. We're going to be willing to work along with you to see how those property that you have, and then if we got use for them, which of course I know we got more use for property around the country, and then we can see how we can carry some developmental agenda in those areas.
Well, I mean, quite exhaustive, and you've been able to lay out all of the issues for us very carefully this morning on the platform. One or two things you'd like to highlight before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'm actually excited that the president dream in the southeastern county is coming to reality, and then the work has already started. As I told you, we got 4 more months to complete that, and then my team going to work exceedingly to see how the additional 1,500 homes into the 15 counties. So this project is not about Grand Crew. We just started 282 homes. We got 1,500 coming into the entire county, and then we're going to be out there talking to our people so they can help us with some of their ideas, see how they want the structure done, how some of the selections are made. And we are open to see how we can talk to them to make sure that this project go on successfully. And also, I'm also excited that next week, and then the people of Raleigh are going to be excited. We're going to have a modern market structure in the Omega area. That's the new Gorbachev market, and then that's going to take us probably 11 months to do, because we have most of the equipment are going to be coming from outside the country to do that market.
Okay, well, we'd like to say thank you very much for coming in and providing us with such very important information for the public, and we all gear up for the commencement of the market, and looking forward to see the president projects in Grand Crew and across the country coming to fruition. Thank you for coming, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Julius.
Well, folks, that's how we wrap it up on this segment of the program. Stay tuned. Next, we'll speak with the Minister of Gender, and she will give us some insight on what's obtaining as preparations are underway and events begin today on the International Women's Day. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I say, look.
Experience 2019 divine access. Take it. Hallelujah. This is your season. This is your time. My Camel experience. This time it is your experience. Don't be told. We have our father all the way from the United States of America, California, Bishop Noel Joe.
Shake somebody's hand.